So let's talk about starting conversations. Okay, a lot of people are challenged in this arena, and I have to admit I used to be too. And I'll also admit to you that I'm not nearly as good at it in person as I am on the internet, in a social environment on the internet, or on a large conference call where I know I have a certain amount of control. So we all have our weak areas, we all have our strong areas. That's my weak area. You might be really strong one-on-one in person and weak in writing. So we're going to talk in general, but I want you guys to know that, because a lot of people think that they're all supposed to be perfect and all supposed to be really good at a certain thing. This is my rule of thumb. You might want to write it down. If something makes you feel sick to your stomach, it's probably not for you, okay? Going to the mall and prospecting made me personally, feel sick to my stomach. So I stopped doing it and learned another way to do it. For you, it may be easy peasy, and of course you should keep doing it. So if we're online, in a social environment, for example, Facebook. In fact, I just met a guy yesterday named Ari. And Ari, I hope you see this. And really interesting, Ari happened to comment on my fan page about something I wrote. So I clicked to see who he was. And Ari had actually quoted me and on his status line. So I go, well, this guy's like really digging what I'm saying, so let me check him out. And I'm looking at his profile. So the first thing I do is I look at his wall, and then I also look at his info tab to see, all kinds of information. So I'm looking through his profile, and I could see he was born in 1949, I think, if I remember correctly. So I have an age range there. He lives in Florida, so okay, cool. So I have an age range and a geographical location. Then I'm looking at his profile, and in his profile, I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff in Spanish and Latin music, but I'm also seeing writing in Hebrew, and his name leads me to believe that he is probably Israeli. So I'm trying to figure him out because he's, his profile doesn't match up to me. So for me, the first thing I think of is South America, because a lot of people during World War II fled Europe. A lot of Jews fled Europe and went to South America, aside from coming to the States. So I think, well, maybe he lived in Argentina or somewhere and then came here, which would make sense because then he would speak Spanish as well as Hebrew. Turns out he didn't. He came from Israel to the States, and we're writing back and forth and having a great conversation about Latin music, because he loves music, and he sent me a video of Julio Iglesias, and because I was a Spanish major and a Spanish student, I lived in Spain for a while, I know all about Julio Iglesias, grew up on the guy, and now we have this nice little relationship. Now Ari does happen to be in marketing, and there's a good chance, in network marketing I believe, and there's a good chance that he's a good prospect for me, but I totally led in my conversations with him, and no, Ari, I'm not trying to get you. But I totally led my conversations with him about what I saw about him, and I asked him questions about himself, which allowed him to reveal his passion for music. He loves Latin music. I would be willing to bet you he's a great salsa dancer. So, guys, when we're meeting people, and everybody's so busy talking to you about prospecting, I don't walk around thinking about everybody like a piece of meat that I need to prospect. I think of everybody as a person that I might have something for, or I might be able to help, and if I can't help them, maybe they know someone who needs my help. So I don't think of everybody as a prospect, I think of everybody as a person who might be right for me and may not be right for me. So as I'm meeting people on Facebook, maybe I see someone commented on somebody else's video or statement or whatever, I'm always peeking and seeing what they're all about, and then I'm always, if I'm going to start a conversation with them, I'm always asking them a question. Write that down, guys. If you ask someone a question, they're compelled to respond to you, okay? They get asked a question, they can't help but answer. One, because it's impolite not to answer, but two, because people like to answer questions about themselves. So I'm taking a peek, I'm seeing what they're all about. Their profile always shows you what they're about. It says, mother of 4, fitness enthusiast, I love my Lord. A lot of people express their faith. Or single chick who loves to cook and something. Their profiles tell you. Look at what they're talking about. Look at what they're speaking about. Go to their info tab. It tells you what TV shows they love. It's so easy to start a conversation. But when you run in and go, I see you like to work out. Have you heard of, whatever? Or I see you're into health. Are you taking liquid vitamins? Do you know the difference between tablet vitamins and liquid vitamins and how they could save your life? I see you drink fruit juice. What's the ORAC value of your fruit juice? It's like driving them away. Guys, here's what you need to know. I teach this in classes all the time, and it's so simple. Everybody's nosy, okay? Everybody's nosy. You think you're not, you are. And everybody, if their nosy gene gets peaked, I call it the nosy gene, they can't help but look to see what you're all about. So you ask a guy about, wow, I see Hebrew and Spanish. Where are you from? And then he tells me where he's from, and he tells me that he's into Latin music, and the next thing you know he's on my profile looking for what I'm about. Boom. You get them to actually go and look at what you're about. And when they do, what happens is they start clicking. And if you have your link to your blog, or your link to your this, or your link to your that, the next thing you know, they're over on your blog, they're watching your videos, they're reading your articles, and so on and so forth. They write you back and they go, oh my gosh, I'm looking for something like what you have. And this is how I do this all day long, every day, from the comfort of my bedroom in my fuzzy slippers. I could even be doing it out here on my wireless internet, sitting outside in the backyard. I'm just meeting people, mixing and mingling, hanging out. I'll send them a video that I did that I think might be helpful to them. My videos don't have pictures in them, therefore I never have to be embarrassed about sending somebody one. If I meet someone and I can see that they're struggling on meeting people on Facebook, and they wrote something about how do I make friends on Facebook, and I send them the video, they feel like I helped them. They naturally get nosy, they click around, the next thing you know they're on one of my conference calls, and boom, they're buying something. It's not hard to do. It's just being a person, having fun, laughing. Last night, the goddess Jackie Gates was putting up show tunes, and it was show tune night, and we're all screwing around. And then the next thing I know, a friend of mine from New York, my husband's friend, who's been so wonderful to us, Linda Malley, she's commenting on Jackie's thing. I didn't know they knew each other. We're having this whole big Saturday night party on Facebook. And everybody's looking at us and seeing what we're doing. And anybody who liked show tunes was in on the conversation. And anybody that liked show tunes all of a sudden liked Jackie Gates. So it's not hard, guys. Just have fun. Stop trying to sell. Stop trying to have an agenda and get people. And start trying to look for people that you match with. Look for people that are looking for you. Look for people that you might be able to help. Talk about the results that you've gotten with your product that you're marketing, but not in a way that you're trying to sell them, but just in passing. Gosh, I always talk about the books I read. I always talk about the authors and the people that I study with. If I went to a seminar, I come home, I talk about the people. So if I sell a lot of their stuff. The products that I sell are all products that I use. Right now, in fact, this week, the product that I love opened up for their platinum accounts. They only do it once or twice a year. Yeah, I'm going to promote it. So I'll talk about why I use it and what's good. I'm not trying to sell it to people because it's a $250 a month thing, guys. I don't think that most people should be using it. But I know that in my contacts, there's probably 5 or so that this would really make a difference for. So I talk about it to see who's looking. So I think I'm kind of rambly today, and I kind of don't care. YouTube raised their limit up. I can do longer videos. People say you shouldn't.